Hello and welcome to the NTA Student Podcast. This is your host Dave Tang and
Davin Pratchett. Today we're going to be talking about the mayoral elections.
Wait. Is that time already?
Oh yes it is. In this podcast, we're going to be going into depth about Mr. Rahm Emanuel. He's been doing a pretty good job, and I feel like he's a pretty strong candidate for mayor. But I feel like there's a couple things in his campaign that he should be going over, which he hasn't been already.
What do you mean by going in more depth or going into more details? Like, are you talking about the DePaul Stadium that is being built at the moment?
Yeah, and beyond that, I think Rahm needs to discuss the tips behind it as well. Many skeptics like Karen Lewis have been attacking how he's been using them, especially for the DePaul Stadium.
I can sort of see why she's against it, though, but I see a lot more pros than the cons.
Yeah. In fact, Mr. Emanuel, if you're listening in, I feel like you can win so many more people if you just take some advice that we've got coming for you in this podcast.
For example, you can talk about the location of where the DePaul Stadium is planning to be built. Like, that's one of the best locations you can build it in because there's so many restaurants that is already there for both families and or for adults only. This can be used for people that can be able to have a lunch before and or after the event. Yes, also planning to build a hotel there, which Davin Pratchett will go into details.
Yeah, because of the hotel being built there, people are more likely to stick around to the area than actually leave. This will be a major economic boom for the South Loop because not only are you drawing people in, but you're making people stay, and you're making people stay to use shops, hotels, industry, and other things as well will profit from all the new construction and all the things that can be gained. In fact, according to Development Commissioner Andy Mooney, the hotel as well as the stadium will make profits that will, in the long run, contribute back to the city and pay back all the funds used to build them in the first place.
Also, according to Chicago Sun-Times, because of the rentals fees that paid for the DePaul Stadium, this city will also get back all the money, as what Davin just said, and all that money will, or profit after we all refund back for the TIF funds, we can use that money to help improve the city in general.
However, I feel like people have been a little bit too harsh on you. In fact, Mr. Emanuel, according to Chicago Business, Karen Lewis has been blaming all the problems with our schools, as well as all the investments you make on you. She's been stating that you've been wasting money on private projects instead of funding for schools. However, I feel like this isn't in Karen Lewis's best interest to argue about, considering the fact that she is the one who led the 8-day teacher union strike of 2012, and how she's basically wasted both time and money on the schools. TIF funds for the schools would be great, but because of Karen Lewis's leadership, I feel like you've made a better decision in spending your TIF funds elsewhere.
And also, after the strike, the school doesn't look as unified as it was before now in the school funds. The critics are also probably gonna, what if like the chance of the stadium or hotels and all that are not really like successful? Or we believe that this isn't really much factual evidence, because all these are all opinions, because if they're all just basically saying, oh, what if? So the standing of like what if is never really successful is not really a solid base to stand off of.
Yeah. In fact, according to arguments by sports analyst and stadium for Robert A. Bade, places like South Bend and Cleveland have actually improved thanks to the use of sports venues. The DePaul Stadium, like we mentioned before, has purposes beyond just being there and can in fact boost our economy, give us back finances in the long run, and overall be very successful in regrowing a part of the city that might need more development. But with that all aside, David, what are your thoughts on Rahm Emanuel and how he might use this advice? What happens if he doesn't use this advice?
Oh, most likely Karen Lewis will probably bring up these arguments to use against him, especially if Emanuel doesn't have the information himself. This actually may end up leading to Emanuel losing many of his supporters, and may ending up costing his own election himself. So I guess that's it for today's podcast.
Yes. Hopefully we can see pretty good voter turnout this year, and hopefully things will get done for our great city, for both its future, our future, and the wellness of everyone living in it.
Yep. So that's it for NTI Student Podcast. I hope you had a great time, and check you guys out later.